After 1 hour of tense waiting, the peon came and requested the two Indian ladies to come follow him as the manager was now free to talk to them. Ronnie and Aphrodite walked slowly with their hearts beating louder and louder. When they entered the large, beautiful office of the manager, they were asked to be seated. It was the peon who requested them to sit down. The manager was an Arab and was speaking in Arabic, still engrossed in a conversation on the phone when they sat in their seats. He concluded his conversation in 5 minutes, turned to face the women and said in English, "What can I do for you?" Ronnie had already told Aphrodite that when they reached the bank, she should speak for herself and taught her what to say and how to say it. However, the frightened girl remained silent and that irritated Ronnie. "Well, is there any problem?" asked the bank manager when he realized that the two Indian women were worried and neither of them willing to speak. The question of the manager forced Ronnie to open up her mouth and speak on behalf of Aphrodite. "There is no problem, sir. However, this is my friend, Ifat Khan. She lives with me in my house. Ifat wants to inquire about her account in your bank." "What is her account number?" "In fact, she lost her bank book and she doesn't remember exactly what her account number is." "Well, I don't like to be rude or mean in any way, but according to our bank policy and for privacy purposes, I would like Ifat Khan to talk to me herself concerning her account with us. Since you said you are her friend and she trusts you, I don't mind having you here with us, but she must speak to me and not you." "I am so sorry, sir. Ifat is a bit shy, but I think after hearing you, she can speak for herself now." "It is okay. Now tell me, Ifat, when did you open an account with us and what kind of account are you holding?" "It is my husband's account." "Well, in that case I am sorry. I can't talk to you about your husband's account with us unless he comes with you and gives us permission to discuss his account with you." "No, sir." Ifat did not understand your question. Her English is not that good. It is her account alone. If she has a problem with English, I can call my Hindi interpreter and talk to her through him. "I came here last year many times and I talked to you in Urdu. You had someone who was telling you what I was saying in Urdu. At that time, my Saudi husband was alive and was in jail." Ronnie felt a bit relieved when Ifat finally began to speak for herself and make intelligible sentences. The bank manager did not recognize Ifat Khan because when she came to him in the past, she was covered from head to foot in a black burqa. However, this day, she was dressed up in tight jeans and a sleeveless top that exposed half of her breasts. Her marvelous beauty and sexy body captivated his heart and she made a permanent lingering impression on him. The moment she related to him, "At that time my Saudi husband was alive and was in jail," the manager began to connect the dots. "What is the name of your Saudi husband?" "Sheikh Faiz bin Ahmed." Ifat Khan could forget anything in her life except the name of the evil old man who had kept her under his domination and control for over 10 years. When she spoke the full name of her Saudi husband, the bank manager's pupils dilated to double the normal size and his mouth was agape. Then, he looked at Ifat for a while, composed himself and replied, "My goodness, we did everything we could to locate you." Ronnie and Aphrodite began to shake and sweat terribly when they heard his response. Both had concluded that the bank was trying to locate Ifat Khan because of the deposit of illegal monies related to the blackmail of an Indian citizen. Ronnie knew no one would ever believe that a 19-year-old Indian girl could earn 10 crores of rupees overnight. "Why were you looking for her? Is there any problem, sir?" "It isn't only a problem. It is a huge legal dispute." Ronnie tried to speak further, but her throat became totally dried up and her tongue was paralyzed with fear. Aphrodite felt like standing up and running for her life, but was rooted to the spot from fear. She hung on to Ronnie's arm. The bank manager read the thoughts of the two Indian women and realized that there was great dread mirrored in their faces. "I am sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. There is nothing wrong that Ifat Khan has done to be afraid of. Please both of you relax and listen carefully to what I am going to say. Although Aphrodite and Rani were reassured by the manager, a lingering dread followed in the shadows of their minds. After the murder of Sheikh Ahmed inside the Indian jail, his wives, sons, daughters, brothers, and sisters in Saudi Arabia wanted to inherit his properties and bank balance. According to the Islamic Sharia law, each one of them was entitled to a certain share of his inheritance. Of course, each son according to the Quran was supposed to get a double share of each daughter, and each brother double the share of the sister, etc. While he was still alive, Sheikh Ahmed transferred ownership of his building and his 3 houses in Saudi Arabia, the one in Eritrea and also the one in Tehran, to his 4th wife. Our internal procedures and the prevailing law stipulate that unless the 4th wife is found or legally proven dead, the building and 5 houses cannot be sold nor any of the Sheikh's estate distributed among his kin. That, basically, is the first problem. The second problem is more complicated. Sheikh Ahmed had only one joint account in our bank. It was a joint account that he created for himself and his 4th wife. Ours is an international bank and hence it is not subject to Islamic Sharia inheritance laws. We are bound and governed by international banking laws that govern just about any other international Western bank. Therefore, the only person entitled to claim his estate and his bank balance is and remains his 4th wife. In the event of the death of one co-signer, the said joint account reverts to a single account owner, falling to the surviving account holder. Thus, the sole and final beneficiary of the account is his 4th wife. Well, this did not sit well with his relatives. Had the account not been a joint account at the time of his death, then, they would be entitled to his estate, divisible according to the Quran. In this case, they have no claim. The bank manager paused for effect and scrutinized the women that were soon going to become his most important non-commercial customers. He resumed his monologue when no one asked any questions. Not surprisingly, his family members sued us and tried to force the bank to release the money held in trust to a Sharia authority for distribution. Although the Sharia court at Jeddah ruled in the favor of the relatives, still our bank rejected the decree of the Islamic court. As I have said already, our bank is an international bank and follows international banking laws. Sheikh Ahmed, regretfully, left nothing in writing to instruct our bank to distribute the money among his relatives in the event of his death. "Who is the 4th wife?" asked Rani, who was following the manager very carefully. Aphrodite understood absolutely nothing of his legal interpretations of law. Her main worry was how could she escape out of the bank without being arrested again and thrown behind bars. "1 minute please, allow me to explain further. When the Saudi relatives of Sheikh Ahmed failed in their attempt to force our bank through the Islamic court of law to release the funds held by our bank, they submitted a complaint to the Saudi royal family. They expected that the Saudi royal family would exert pressure on the Abu Dhabi International Bank in their favor. We can only assume that the royal family seemed to know of the international laws that govern foreign banks and hence did not interfere. Now our bank wants to get hold of the 4th wife and place the matter in her hands because the legal disputes with the Sheikh's relatives are costing us a lot of money in legal fees. This naturally means that we have left no stone unturned trying to locate the 4th wife. We have used all means necessary, including placing legal notices in the newspapers in Saudi Arabia, Iran, Eritrea, and India, and we have sponsored advertisements using the local media in all countries to this end. All this time, we have not been able to locate the slightest clue as to her whereabouts." "Is the 4th wife an Indian?" asked Rani with a quivering voice. "Yes, she is, and now she is sitting beside you." "Yes," shouted Rani. She pulled Aphrodite up by her hands and hugged and kissed her and said, "Congratulations, my baby. Hold on. Before you congratulate her, you should ask me how much money she has in our bank." Rani let go of Aphrodite's body and looked at the bank manager. Before he said anything, the manager entered the name of Ifat Khan in his computer and then whistled and said excitingly, "Ifat Khan, you are the richest woman in India. You have 2 accounts with us. In one account, you have a total of 44 crores of Indian rupees. Rani Krishna jumped on her feet, pulled Aphrodite towards her, and embraced her again dearly. Then, she let go of her body, shook her hand, and told her that she had a lot of money in the bank. Aphrodite's fear cautiously disappeared and she smiled uneasily. She looked at Rani jumping up and down, shaking and holding onto her hand. Some of the joy in Rani's heart started to spill over onto Aphrodite, for she began to think that maybe she should follow Rani's lead and do the same. Aphrodite began to scream and jump up and down like Rani, with the both of them dancing excitedly and turning around in circles like schoolgirls on the playground. The bank manager put his right hand on his right cheek and waited for the 2 Indian women to come to terms with their windfall. Is she allowed to use her money anytime she wants? Yes, of course, it is her money. No one has the right to stop her from using it. All I need to see is 2 official documents verifying her identity. Rani had already anticipated that demand and prepared Aphrodite with her Indian passport and ration card. Once again, Rani hugged Aphrodite and this time landed another kiss on her cheek. Can she get a debit card or a credit card so that she can have access to her funds? By the way, sir, Ifat Khan is the most beautiful Bollywood film actress in history. Her first movie was a great hit. Really, I never knew she was an actress. Last time, when she visited our bank, she was a totally different girl. She wore an Islamic niqab. That is why I failed to recognize her today. That was all in the past. She is a very different girl now. She is a great heroine and she is going to act in another great movie very soon. Well, I am honored to meet a film actress of Bollywood. Anyway, you ladies have forgotten to ask me about the second account of Ifat Khan, which is hotly disputed in the courts in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. The account that I have revealed to you is not even known to the relatives of the late Sheikh Faiz bin Ahmed. It was created by Sheikh Ahmed before his death in the name of Ifat Khan. He requested our bank transfer 14 crores in Ifat's new account that he created for her. There is also the matter of a total deposit of 30 crores of rupees by a Mahmud Khan. The name of the evil man instantly wiped out the glow of happiness from the hearts of Rani and Aphrodite. The fear that had evaporated just minutes earlier started to seep back in. Might the manager find the last transaction suspicious? Of course, the banker was indeed wondering about the last transaction, but when no information was forthcoming, he let it slide, as he felt it was none of his business. Now prepare yourselves for the best news yet. I am going to reveal to you how much money we are holding in trust for you in the second account. That is the account that used to be a joint account and has since reverted to a single owner account upon the death of her late husband. The bank manager paused and looked at the 2 Indian ladies for a while before he said, "There are 359 crores of Indian rupees in Ifat's second account." Rani Krishna's heart fluttered a few beats. Aphrodite simply smiled. She did not react because she did not know what a crore was. She took all her cues from Rani. If Rani was happy, then she knew she should be happy. So she kept looking at Rani to see if she acted the same way she did when the amount of the first account was revealed, to get an idea of how she should respond. This time, Rani did not hug her. She did not shake her hand nor kiss her. There was no theatrics, jumping around or dancing. Instead, Rani began to weep. Aphrodite was crushed, and tried to console her, saying, "Please don't cry, Rani. You are the only person I have in this world. I am not going to leave you because I have found out that I have money in the bank." Rani turned to Ifat and hugged her as tightly as she could. She wanted to enter into her precious heart and live there forever. Then, she said to her, "I am not afraid that you are going to leave me because of the money. When I found you and took you into my house, you had no money, and if you still didn't have any money, I would continue to remain your friend and give you shelter and protection. However, I am weeping for the terrible abuse you went through in the hands of those who have since died and left this wealth in your possession. It is the God in the heavens I have to acknowledge. He is the one that has punished them in a terrible way and took their money and worldly possession and gave it to you. They wielded their money like weapons and used it to manipulate everything and everyone around them. Now look what their money has done for them. One of them, his greed and lust led him to jail where he died like a pig butchered in a slaughterhouse. The other one could not face his accusers and shot himself in the head, totally alone. The bank manager did not understand much of the conversation since Ifat and Ronnie had just reverted back to speaking in Hindi. He watched them with great interest. He had never seen anyone so stirred up emotionally in his bank than the two Indian ladies sitting before him. After she finished talking to Aphrodite, Ronnie used her handkerchief and wiped her tears. Then, she said proudly to the manager, "Sir, you have brought glad tidings to the heart of a girl who has not known happiness for many, many years. No woman has ever been abused more in the entire world than this poor girl. For that reason, I am going to throw the biggest party Mumbai has ever seen and I am inviting everyone I know in Bollywood. The first person I will be inviting is you. Please give me your card so I can call on you." "Thanks ma'am, but I have done nothing to deserve praise or invitation. I have done my duty and nothing else." "I know that, but if your sister is happy and has invited you for food in her house, would you refuse to come?" "Of course not, what makes my sister happy makes me happy too. Here is my card and I am honored that you see fit to invite me in your house and home." That day, Aphrodite Khan entered the Abu Dhabi International Bank penniless and came out with over $89 million including equity in 5 houses and a building overseas.